What do you want me to do about the Wi-Fi crap? Fix the Wi-Fi. I don't know why mine went down. It's not me, it's you running absolutely fine. There's some days with Wi-Fi just doesn't.
Just getting the camera ready, all right? So I haven't started yet. You've got 5 minutes. So off you pop. Get a coffee, paper, pen, textbook, go for a tinkle, all right? But I'm just going to be fiddling with the camera and getting the board ready, okay? 5 minutes. Yeah, I am. Coming to you around the world on YouTube. We're about to go live on Facebook, on Instagram, on this gram, on that gram, on this chat and that chat and every chat as well. Yeah, so there's no excuse to not learn English with me. Okay. Right, what's the day today? It's always filthy. Honestly. We're going to set up a GoFundMe page for a new blackboard. Yeah. What's the day today? It's Wednesday. Can you see that? No, you can't.
Don't bring so far up. Ignore that.
Can you see that?
Your chalk.
Right harder.
This red one is better. Right with that.
Just want some chalk!
Do you want me to give you like red? The best one is the red one. It's the one you can see the most.
If anybody at home has a lovely whiteboard, please feel free to bring it in. That would be really nice.
They can't leave the house, Andy.
We can give you an authorization. It's fine.
Pretend that you work here.
Oh, there you go. Oh, that's
See, I told you the red is key. That's what I use. It's the only chalk I use.
Yeah, but when I get to the end of this, I'll be using my own blood. So.
I will find more, but it's because I use it all.
What's the date today? Anybody on that end? What's the date today? Anyone? No? Ooh! I've got viewers already.
I'm on Instagram.
Oh, Jose's there. Hey, Jose, how you doing? All the way in Elder. I don't actually know what the date is. Oh, it's the 18th.
18th. Right.
18th. It's the day after St. Patrick's Day. Oh yes, today is La Ofrenda. No, it's not. It's not. It's been cancelled. I don't know if you know about that. You read the news? I have no fires this year. Oh, right. Okay, let's get my work ready. You what?
There's so many people on the street.
I know, right? It's like there's no real virus. Right, okay. Is this going to be big enough for me to read? No, it's not. So now I can actually see how far I can go on here. I'm actually going to hide the camera because I hate watching myself on the screen. So I'm going to put up my lovely PowerPoint that I made this morning for you all. So I hope you've downloaded it and you've got it ready in front of you. 2 seconds. I know someone that won't have it. Dun, 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 dun.
I don't know what these ones are like. But...
This new chalk, amazing.
Not learning Infinitive and Gerunds, you're learning about chalk.
Oh, you have 4 viewers. Oh, Nabs is here. Or she was. I don't know if she's still here.
Wow.
She's telling you the date. Hi, Nabs, if you're still there.
I'm hanging on a wire. Spiked girls and skin tight jeans. I got a fist full of love that's coming your way. Baby, come, you know what I mean. Right, post. Okay.
Someone wants to join. You.
Someone wants to join me. Everyone can join
Joelle
me.
says hello. Hi, Joelle. This is Andy.
Joelle, who's
I
Joelle?
don't know. He just said hello. I'm Joelle.
Joelle. Oh, this is public, isn't it? Hi, Joelle. Nice of you to join us. Yeah, amazing.
Oh, Laura's watching.
Right, okay. So I'm going to take the camera off because I hate looking at myself. And now we can start with today's lesson. Hey guys, I've got to remember, I need to look there, not on my laptop. Oh, and there, I've got 2 cameras on me now. Now I feel like Lady Gaga. Okay, so today we have got gerunds and infinitives for B2 level. Yes, they can be quite tricky. When do you use a gerund? When do you use an infinitive? Well, if you've got the lovely PowerPoint on the PDF in front of you, we're going to go through that right now. Okay, so if you haven't, go print it now or go onto the classroom, download it now. Instagram people, just listen. Great listening exercise for you. Okay, don't worry, I'm going to be putting stuff on here as well. Okay, so let's crack on then. First of all, we're going to look at verbs with gerunds. Now, with gerunds, it's very, very easy. Okay, in English language, we speak a lot in gerunds. Okay, so let's look at some common verbs with gerunds. Hang on, let's do that again. So we have verb plus gerund. Okay, can you see that okay? Is that all right? Is that big enough? Yeah, yeah, fab. Right, okay. So I'm just gonna list off a selection of verbs that you can use with in the form of a gerund, okay? So you've got verbs like, let me bring this forward. Okay, you have got admit. You have adore. Adore means to really love something, yeah? You've got appreciate, avoid. What else? I'm trying to do a very quick selection. Delay. Deny. These are just really common ones that you can use in the form of a gerund. Mind, miss, postpone. All these kind of verbs, you then follow with the gerund afterwards. Okay, let's look at some examples. I admit throwing the football at the window. Oh my God. I really appreciate studying English at home, and I really appreciate Andy speaking on camera, kind of thing, to me at home. You need to avoid listening to Spanish while watching Netflix. Yes, you should put it in English. Okay. He denied lying to the teacher. Did you do your homework? Yes, I did. Don't think you did. Okay. To miss, I miss having a beer with my friends in a bar. Today's climate, we can't even go to a bar and enjoy beer. Yeah, I really miss that. Postpone something, to postpone doing something. UEFA has postponed playing football until next year. Yeah, football is cancelled in all of Europe. What are we going to do? Oh my gosh. To postpone doing something. Yeah. You can also prevent. Recommend. Okay. To prevent catching the coronavirus, it is recommended, or we need to recommend wearing a mask. Yes. Okay. To prevent doing something, to recommend doing something. Okay. So these are just a few common verbs that you can then have plus a gerund. just in case some of you don't know what a gerund is, what's a gerund? Anyone very quickly? Pop in the comments. What's a gerund? Talk to each other. A gerund is? We can still do Kahoot right now. What's a gerund? A gerund is, yes, it is a verb in its ing form. Verb plus ing. Okay, remember that. I'm going to be saying gerunds and infinitives all lesson. Okay. You can also use gerunds after certain expressions as well. Okay. I'm going to wipe this off. Let's look at some expressions. An expression is kind of a mini phrase kind of thing, okay? So you can see on your PDF, you have got expressions such as to be afraid of doing something. Yes, I'm afraid of climbing walls. I'm afraid of flying in planes. Yeah. You can have to be fed up with doing something. I'm fed up with telling my students to do their homework. Yes. Parents can be fed up with shouting at their children. Yes. Teachers can be fed up with advising their students how to improve English at home when they don't listen. Yeah. You can also be good at doing something. Yes. Andy is good at teaching English. Sometimes. You can also be interested in doing something. I am interested in learning languages. I'm interested in singing. I'm interested in dancing. I'm interested in going to the cinema, but I'm not interested in talking about politics. It's so boring. Another one you've got, can't help. Can't help doing something means that it's unavoidable. Yes, when the camera is on, Andy can't help dancing. Yeah, I love it. Don't mind doing something. To don't mind means that's, how do you explain that? To don't mind. I don't mind doing something. It means it's not a bother. I'm not offended by doing it. To not mind means that you will do it without hesitation. Yes. I don't mind helping you with lesson planning. He doesn't mind holding the door open for you. Okay, it's not mine, it's not a problem. You've got to feel like. I feel like dancing. I don't feel like dancing, except the Scissor Sisters. I feel like eating soup today for lunch. I don't feel like getting up out of bed. You can forgive somebody for doing something. Okay, to forgive somebody for doing something. I forgive you for breaking the window. Okay, so it's when you forgive somebody for doing an action. That's why you have a gerund, because it's for doing an action. You can also look forward to. That's a very, very common one. Cambridge loved to put that in their exam. To look forward to doing something. I look forward to returning to the academy and seeing all your faces live in front of me. And not like this, because I can't see any of you, but all of you can see me. Yeah. You can look forward to studying English at home every week with moi. Yeah. To look forward to means that you have the motivation. You are motivated to do something, to look forward to doing something. Then you've got some phrasal verbs as well. So these are just some common expressions. What you might notice is, with all these expressions, there is a preposition. Yes, whenever there's an expression and a preposition, you always follow it with a gerund. It's very, very easy. You can never follow it with an infinitive. Never, never, never. Let's look at some phrasal verbs. very, very quickly. And so this is going to be a very quick, fast-paced lesson because I've got a lot to tell you. You've got phrasal verbs as well. Now, don't worry if you miss something that I say. You will be able to watch the video online later on, again and again and again. If you want to see my face every morning, me talking about gerunds and infinitives while you have breakfast, absolutely fine. Okay, even those people that aren't here right now, you can message other people and say, oh, that was a great lesson. You can watch the video over and over again. All right, so if you miss something, don't worry. Phrasal verbs. You can carry on. To carry on means to continue. To carry on doing something. We are carrying on teaching English at the academy. Yes, you can carry on studying at home. We can carry on surviving, even though there is this virus. Yes. To give up. To give up means to stop doing something. Yes. We need to give up going to restaurants. We need to give up being in the street. We need to give up smoking. We need to give up alcohol. No, that's a noun. We need to give up drinking alcohol if you want to get fit and healthy. To give up means to stop doing something, usually for the better as well. To go on. To go on is when you're talking about to carry on doing something, to continue doing something. I will go on teaching English online for however long the lockdown is. To keep on. To keep on is another way of saying to continue, very similar to go on, to keep on. Andy will keep on teaching today's class until you're bored. No, that's not true. I only have like a 30-minute window, so that's it. And to put off doing something, that means to temporarily stop, to postpone. Yes, so UEFA has put off playing football in Europe. Yeah, the UEFA Cup has been postponed till 2021. Governments have put off opening restaurants in today's current climate. Airlines have put off selling tickets for plane seats. Obviously, we can't travel right now. So there you have some verbs, some phrasal verbs, and some expressions with gerunds. Okay, very quickly, when do we use gerund in a sentence? Well, after certain verbs and expressions and phrasal verbs, yes. But you can also use a gerund as a subject itself, yes. Exercising every day will keep you healthy. Smoking is bad for you. Drinking alcohol can be fun if you know your limits. What else? Studying English is not that bad. You can also use gerunds after prepositions such as at, in, of, for, with. Yes, so remember those expressions that I put on here. Be good at, be interested in, to forgive somebody for. Okay, all of them. Usually if it has a preposition, you follow it with a gerund. And after certain verbs, which were the verbs that I put at the beginning of this class. Okay, if you want more verbs, have a look at the PDF that I uploaded to the Google Classroom. If not, I think people on Instagram, if you can subscribe to us, maybe on our channel, we could possibly then link you to the online classroom, and then you can then get a PDF. Okay? Now, let's carry on. Let's look at some verbs with infinitives. Okay, we've done gerunds for a bit. Now let's look at infinitives, because this is a bit trickier. Okay? So, on your PowerPoint, your PDF, sorry, we're looking at slide 5. So that's on page 3. Let's look at some common verbs where you must use the infinitive and you can't use the gerund. Okay, we've got verbs such as, do you know what? Why am I not using this in PowerPoint mode? Make it so much bigger and I don't have to do this all the time. Oh, that's amazing. Okay. Right, verb plus infinitive. Question 2. What is an infinitive? Boop, 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 boop. Yes, correct. Infinitive is when you have to plus verb. Okay? The bare infinitive is when you don't have the to. Yeah, you should know that when we get to B2 level. Very, very important. Okay, so you've got the bare infinitive. I'm not sure you can see that. Let's put it underneath here. Because there's no to, it's just the verb. Okay, bit of knowledge there for you. Right, let's look at some verbs with infinitives. So you've got verbs like agree. Agree. Yes, you agree to do something. I agree to study English at home with Andy. But you definitely do not be agree, like you say in Spanish. I am agree. No. Next time you say that, I will give you -5 on your exams. Yes, absolutely not acceptable. I agree. What else do we have? Appear, arrange. What else have we got? Decide, expect, fail, forget. No, I'm not writing all these verbs on the board. I haven't got time to write them all, but you've got them in front of you, the PDF. Help, hope, learn. Manage, need, offer, plan. All these verbs take on an infinitive afterwards. Let's write a few more. Promise, refuse. Okay, all of these take on an infinitive form afterwards. You cannot use a gerund. Okay, let's give a few examples. I agree to study English at home. Andy appears to be wearing a red Inglaterran casa jumper. That's new. We've never seen them before. Yeah, don't worry. Andy's Farm 2021, adult version. Arrange. Let's arrange to meet for a drink in June when we can. I need to decide to study another language. Okay, I've decided to continue studying English with Andy. Don't forget to log on to the YouTube channel. Yes, I am going to learn to play the violin. To plan. Let's plan to go to the cinema when they open again. I refuse to go onto the street because I want to stay healthy. Okay, all of these verbs and more take on an infinitive afterwards. Okay, not a gerund. Now, you might get a slightly different structure with some of these verbs as well. You can have a verb plus a question word. Plus the infinitive. What do I mean by this? Okay, you can actually split the verb and the infinitive and put a question word in the middle. Verbs such as ask, decide, explain, forget. Okay, all of these you can then have a question word. So you could have what, when, where, how, for example, plus infinitive. Yeah, for example, you could say, I need to ask what to do in this exercise. We need to decide where to go next week. Can you explain when to study English? I forget how to study English. Andy forgets how to teach sometimes. So you can have certain verbs with a question word in between the verb and the infinitive. Okay. Then you've got a person as well. So if we push this back, we can then put this here. And then we can introduce somebody. Okay, so let's put that in here. Plus somebody, plus a question word. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, with these verbs, you can introduce a person. Let's make it bigger, shall we? Let's not make it rush. Chalk rope. Somebody. So with these verbs, you can have advise, you can ask, you can also show, teach, and tell. Oh, can't see that. Show, teach, tell. Yeah? So for example, we could say, oh, can somebody tell Andy how to teach well? Because he's not doing it well today. Yeah, you could advise somebody where to go. Yes, you can show somebody what to do. You could teach somebody how to play an instrument. Okay, so you can have some verbs that will have a somebody in the phrase and then a question word. Okay, it's when you want to be a bit more specific with a specific situation. Yeah, what to do, when to do something, where to do something, how to do something. Okay. Then we've got a few more things before I get onto the more difficult stuff. Okay, you can simply have a verb and somebody plus infinitive. You can advise somebody to do something. So without the question word. Yeah, I advise my students to listen to English at home. I encourage my students to watch English television and English films. I force my students to do their homework. But they don't do it sometimes, and then Andy gets angry. I invite my students to do their homework because it's in their best interests. I remind my students to not have Spanish audio when they watch Netflix. And I warn my students to do their homework if they don't want to see Andy angry. Yeah, there's some examples of a verb plus somebody plus infinitive. Now you can also make somebody do something. This is another way of telling someone to do something when you force them. They feel like they have no choice. Okay, to make somebody do something. Yeah, so I could say Andy made his students watch the English class online. Yeah, to make somebody. It's another way of saying to force somebody to do something. Okay. Now, you've also got another verb that has a very similar grammar structure. Okay, it's called let. To let somebody do something. This is when you give somebody the choice. Okay, the decision is in their hands. Yes, so I could say Andy let his students watch the English class online. It's their choice. Whereas here, if I say Andy made his students watch the English class. This is more an order, it's a command. Yes, I am telling them they must do it. Okay, So Andy made us watch the class. Andy let us watch the class. Okay? Now, there are some verbs with a gerund or infinitive. This is where it gets difficult. Okay? Now, I'm just going to have to speak a lot of this because the video is already really long. So I might do a second video about this. We'll see. We'll see. So, you can have some verbs with a gerund or an infinitive. The most common ones are the verbs of preference. They are hate, like, don't like, and love. You can say, I love playing football. I love to play football. I like studying English. I like to study English. It's very, very easy. You can choose either or. When you talk about processes of things, such as begin, start, and continue, again, you can use gerund or infinitive. Okay, so let's put it on the board. Verbs plus gerund or infinitive. So you have hate, like, love, begin, start, continue. All of these, you can have a gerund or an infinitive. You can also have, there's another verb that's bother. To bother. To bother is when you, it's like when you have the energy, the gamas, the motivation to do something, okay? You can be bothered to do something, or you can bother doing something, yeah? You can also use the verb intend, but there is a slight change. When you intend, you can intend to do something, that's easy, okay? So you can have infinitive there. But if you use a gerund, you have to intend on doing something. There's a slight change, okay? It's got a preposition. You intend on doing something. I intend on continuing to study English at home. I intend on watching Andy's video, okay? Now, there are certain verbs where if you use the gerund or the infinitive, it completely changes the meaning. Okay, I'm going to go through these very quickly. But for more information and more theory about this, you do have the PowerPoint in front of you, PDF. Okay, let's have a look at some of these verbs that are very important when you put the gerund or the infinitive because it changes the meaning of those verbs. First verb we're going to look at is remember. Okay, to remember plus gerund. This means when you remember an action that you've done in the past. Okay, so you're remembering after you've done it. I remember teaching in the academy. It was a lot of fun. Yes, I remember going swimming when I was a child every Saturday. I remember playing football with my friends last week. Okay, so remember plus gerund is when you're talking about memories. Okay, you remember doing something because you remember after you've done it. Okay, but if you remember plus infinitive, that changes the meaning. This is why it's important, especially at a B2 level. Okay, you need to be able to show that you can command the language correctly. So this kind of thing is important to you guys, especially if you want to do a B2 exam. Remember plus infinitive. So this is when you want to remember an action before you've done it. So you don't forget it. You don't forget to do it. Okay? So it's to remind somebody to do something. Okay? So for example, I could say, remember to watch the video again. Later. Okay, the action hasn't happened yet, it's in the future, but I'm reminding you, remember to watch the video. Remember to keep studying English The action hasn't started yet, or it could have started, but it will happen in the future. Yes, I'm reminding you not to forget. Remember to keep yourself entertained at home while we are stuck at home on this lockdown. Okay, you can see a couple more examples on the slide. I remember studying English with Andy in the academy. It was fun. Do you remember going Halloween shopping last year, Alberto? With the infinitive, you could say, I could have said, Maria F. Remember to bring your exam book to class. I could say, Alvaro, did you remember to give me my present from New York that you said you would? Yes. So I want to remind someone of an action. Okay? Let's look at another verb. Now I can keep that on because now I'm just changing the verb. Fantastic. Okay, so let's look at the word regret. Should we try a different color? No, it's not coming up well. So I'm going to put all of them down. Regret. Regret. Okay, to regret doing something is when you talk about the fact that you have done an action in the past and that you want to say sorry for it. You're probably thinking, I shouldn't have done that. Okay, so to talk about past action that you are sorry for. Yes, I regret hitting you in the face accidentally. I regret smashing the glass. I'm so sorry. I regret arriving late to class. I regret breaking your promise. I shouldn't have told him. I'm sorry. So it's when you want to say sorry for something that you did in the past, you regret doing something. However, if you regret to do something, that's when you have to say sorry to somebody before the action's kind of been done. Okay? Now, the way we use this is quite a formal expression. You tend to get it when you've applied for a job and you then get a letter back from the company and then you get excited because you think you've got the job. And then you open the letter and it says, we regret to inform you that. So it's kind of a way of saying sorry in the future. Okay? To regret to tell you that you haven't got the job. I regret to tell you that you'll be studying English at home. I regret to inform you that this topic of gerunds and infinitives is difficult. Okay, so to regret, gerund and infinitive, two different ways. You've also then got to go on. Oh, I didn't put your explanation, but look at your PDF, and that will help you. To go on. To go on doing something and to go on to do something. To go on doing something means to continue. Continue doing an action. Okay, to go on. So I could say some of you students will go on continuing to study English until you get to C1. Yes. I will go on talking for as long as I can when I shouldn't. But to go on plus infinitive means that an action stops and you start another action. Okay, so we could say, it's to stop one action, to start another. Okay, so I could say after I did theatre in Calpe, I went on to live in Valencia and I went on to be a teacher. Yes. I could say, for example, when the quarantine is over, Andy will go on to be an online superstar. Yeah? I won't, I really won't. But it's just an example. Okay? So that's to go on. All right, very quickly. I've got a couple more verbs, and then I have to go. But if you want to ask me anything, you can leave some comments. Okay, don't worry. To try. Okay, to try doing something and to try to do something. Okay, very, very similar. But it's quite tricky to understand the difference, okay? What I've managed to find out for you is when you try doing something, this is when you describe an action during the moment, okay? It's when you want to experiment and see results of an action. So it's kind of like when you suggest to do something, okay? So you could say, I tried going to the gym 3 times a week, okay? It's when you do an action for results. Or experimenting. Okay. Have you tried eating more healthily? Have you tried studying at home? It's easier than you think. Yeah, but when you try plus infinitive, that's slightly different. Okay, this is when you suggest an action before it's even begun. Okay, so this is more an attempt or recommendation. I'm going to put that on silent because it keeps beeping. So you could say, why don't you try to study English at home? Yeah, it's easy. Have you tried it? Have you started? Have you given it a go? If you tried to exercise 3 times a week, you would feel a lot better. You would see results. You would feel fitter, but only if you tried to exercise 3 times a week. Okay, so this is when you want to suggest or recommend an action. Okay, that's the difference with try. All right, now we've got need. Like I said, I know I'm going through this very, very fast, but you can watch the video again and again. That's the beauty of online material. Okay, so you can need and gerund, need and infinitive. What's the difference? What is the difference? Okay, I'll tell you. Need, when you have need plus gerund, this is when you talk about something in the passive form. Okay, so like an example in the PDF, you could say, the house needs decorating. Okay, it's to talk about the passive action. You're basically saying that the agent of the action is not in the sentence. Okay, the car needs washing. The clothes need folding. Yes, it's when you talk about something that needs doing without the agent being in the sentence. The agent is the doer of the action. Yeah, so technically it is a passive form of speaking. Whereas when you say need plus infinitive, this is basically an active form of speaking, active action. Okay, so where we could take the example of the house needs decorating, the house needs decorating, we could say somebody needs to decorate the house. Now you have an agent or the doer of an action in that sentence. Yes, the house needs decorating. Andy needs to decorate the house. You see the difference? In this sentence here, there's a person, there's a doer, an agent, you call it. Okay, so this is why it's an active sentence, because you have a subject, verb, object. Okay, see the difference? Yes, very good. Okay, moving on. I've got 3 more verbs and that's it. Okay, we have got forget. To forget doing something and to forget to do something. Again, very similar in structure, but different meanings. Okay, have a look at your page, at your PDF. What can you tell me about forget plus gerund and forget plus infinitive? Anyone? Anyone? Leave a comment. What do you think? Forget plus gerund. Okay, this is when you remember something. You have a fond memory of doing something. So you're talking about an action in the past. Okay. The example you've got there is, I'll never forget meeting Andy. Yes. Did you forget doing karaoke last night? Oh my God, you were hilarious. Okay, it's when you have a memory of doing something in the past. Okay, so you're talking about memories. And usually they're good memories. So I'll put fond in brackets. Fond is another way of saying nice, good, fond memories. Okay. Now, when you say forget plus infinitive, this changes it a little bit. This is when you want to describe an action that you have to do before doing it. So it's kind of like a little reminder. Yes. Examples you've got there are, I bet either Alvaro or Esther will forget to bring their book to class. Yeah. Hector didn't forget to tell his friends about Beer Burger Conversation Club. You can also give it as a command as well. Don't forget to do something. Yes. Don't forget to watch this video again. Don't forget to leave a comment. Don't forget to ask Andy a question if you don't understand something. Okay? So that is forget. 2 more verbs, very quickly. Okay, we've got stop. Stop plus gerund. And stop plus something. Let's fade it off the board. I will have to stop writing very soon because I've reached the end of my chalk. To stop plus gerund means when you describe an action that no longer happens. Okay. So to describe actions that don't happen anymore. Oh, running out. That don't happen anymore. Okay, so Andy has stopped talking. The action's finished. Yes. I have stopped watching the video. Yes, I saw Alberto and Guillermo stand up and go home. Yeah, they've gone already. Bye, guys. Bye. I could say Nacho stopped coming to class because he got a job. But now he's stopped working because we have to stay at home. Yeah, you talk about actions that have stopped, that are no longer happening anymore. Whereas when you stop plus infinitive, that's different. Okay, stop plus infinitive means to stop the first action and start a second action. Okay, for example, I could say Andy needs to stop to let somebody else make a video. Yes. I have to stop to have a break. I have to stop to allow other teachers to come and teach. Yeah. So that means I have to stop doing one action to start doing another action. Yes. We stop the car to have lunch. They will stop to buy souvenirs on the way home. Okay. Now, last verb before I go. Very, very quickly. Let's see if I can do this in 60 seconds. Because I've got some people in the background jumping up and down saying, stop, stop. Okay, mean plus gerund. And mean plus infinitive. Okay. Right, what's the difference? Okay, to mean plus gerund is when you want to describe an action that involves doing something else to then achieve it. Okay, for example, getting a C1 in English means studying a lot at home. Okay, getting healthy again means denying the public on the streets. They have to stay at home. So it means that you describe an action involves doing something else to achieve it. All right, doing something else. Okay, making other videos means stopping this video right now. Yes, to make other videos, I need to stop this one. Okay, making other videos means stopping recording this one. Yeah, you've got mean plus infinitive. This is when you want to describe an intended action. Okay, to describe intended actions. Now, sometimes they can also be unintended actions as well, such as you've got Marta meant to study English, okay, but she was more distracted by her friends in Milan. I didn't mean to arrive late to class, okay. I didn't mean to break the window. I'm very sorry. I meant to say that in the class. I meant to tell you about gerunds and infinitives. It's an intended action. Okay? So that is gerunds and infinitives. Okay? Very, 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 very quickly. You've got the resources online on the online classroom. Have a practice at home. You've got some worksheets. You've got the video again. It will be uploaded to the classroom so you can watch it, or just go on YouTube. Do the grammar sheets as well. If you've got any questions, you can then feel free to send me a message or an email. Okay? But that's today's lesson. B2 guys, gerunds and infinitives. Okay? Take care. See you later. Bye-bye. Boom, 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 boom. Bye. There you go.